21 days, guys. We deworm the chicks. You just close that door right there. Let me show you the medicine you're using quickly. It's about to rain, so I'll have to hurry up. Disinfect like that. Of course, we'll have to close the door because, well, when I close the door, it gets darker. Okay, so this is opening for the purpose of filming. I'll just open it for that, particular level. So take a look at this. So this is the medicine that you are using. Yeah, let's see it. Look at that. So this is the dewormer that you are using. Look at that. It's upside down. Ascarex, something like that. So this particularly for now. This is it's a wide spectrum. This is just particularly for animals. It's not clear. Okay, anyway, that's not the point. The point is this is at day 21, and you have to vaccinate the chicks. So let me just show you this. Put on our boots quickly before you enter the brooder. Biosecurity is key. It's a top notch here, so we have a footpath right there, and then we change that. Here we have just some equipment that we are using. The place looks untidy, but I showed you all this clean. Just take a look at how the chickens are drinking. Right there, you can see them asleep. Come on, just move. Like that. So this is the area. Look at that. The chickens are asleep. Like that. So I put in this. Some of it has been taken. Okay, and then you look at that. It's almost half full. Like that. It's done. When you're doing deworming or vaccination, you have to make sure that maybe the chicks stay, without water for maybe at most 2 hours. Look at that. It's almost gone. The same to this one. Like that. So the chicks are asleep now. They're waking up. I'll just wait for a few hours and then I'll give them feeds, because I've noticed there's some feeds are still remaining. Right, that one, there's still feeds there. It's about to rain. That's why it's a bit dark in here. It's about to rain, so just hurry up. So this is the deworming days, guys. Now you have to do this maybe on day 14 or after 14 days. That's 2 weeks, or you can do it after 3 weeks. So it depends on your choice of when you wish to administer the drug, the dewormer. But this is day 21. I know I'm a bit late, but it will work. This is the first deworming, and then the next one should be after maybe 5 weeks. If yours are going for maybe 6 weeks or 7 weeks, it should be 5th week, or maybe after the 35th day. That's when I will administer the last vaccine for these broilers, assuming that I will not have sold them by then. You see, like that. Now the advantage of deworming is actually to get rid of that what you call standard growth, which is a slow growth, because worms, when we deworm, we're actually getting rid of worms from the body. So worms compete with the chicken for feeds, because they're also living creatures. They also need feeds, food to also grow. So when they multiply in number, it means they have consumed a lot of food. So they are taking the nutrients, particularly from your chicken's gut, to them. So they are stealing the food from your chicken gut. So you need to get rid of them, guys, so that your chicken can be able to grow quickly and perfectly in good health. So if the disadvantage with the worms is that if they grow in large numbers, they'll actually interfere with the intestinal tract of the intestines of the the chicken, the digestive system, and then you find that the chicken is actually gasping for air, opening the mouth randomly, within occasionally opening the mouth just to get in air, and that will affect the breathing, which in turn will actually cause mortality, because if the worms are too many, guys, you expect death from the chicks. So that's the advantage of worming. That's why we do it, guys. So 22 days later, now after starving the chicks for about 3 to 4 hours, let's see, it's feeding time. We're getting some feeds here. Just have to fill this section. Right there. So we use that bucket to get the feeds there. Now before that, guys, let's weigh the chicks just to see, because they don't have anything in the crop. Let's weigh them to see just how much they weigh, or they should be weighing on day 21. And so we raised the feeders a little bit because they have gotten taller. So let's weigh them. Now I'll just take a sample of 5 because I really don't have much time. I've got some other business to do, so let me just pick randomly like 5 of them. This should be a medium scale maybe. So there it is, 855 or 60 grams. Yeah, 860 grams thereabout. So day 21. This is a female. This is definitely a female, small size. In terms of body, I'll pick another one. So that one, place it right there. So 1,900, almost 980, 985 grams. 985. Is it really standing well? Yeah, 986 grams, like that. Let's put it. Oh, this is definitely a male. I'll just pick the ones that look a bit bigger, like this one, the males. Just get it. Okay. It's a very fragile bird. You don't want to squeeze it at all. You don't want to squeeze it. Oh, okay. Just grab it like this, okay? And place it right over there. Scale is too small, but I want it to fit there. So 1,070 and 80 what? 80 something, 90 grams. 1,090 grams. So this one has hit already 1 kg, and you can just feel it because it's heavy. This one must be a male. This must be a male. Look at that meat, guys, just developing like that. Okay. Maybe if I can just get another one. Okay, let's try this. So that's 950 something grams. So this is playing around 900. This to 1 kilo. So 800 to 1 kilo, 1 kilogram, like that. So that's where we are at, day 22. So next week we also be measuring the weights, so that we know exactly where we are. I'm sure all of them, if not all of them, they should have hit 1 kg, and the ones which are in 1 kg, they should be something like 1.5 and they should be ready. So this week 4 ends in the next 6 days. Guys, so this is an update. Just look at this. This is at night. It's almost at 12 midnight. So this is the time we are feeding the birds. Some of them are a bit sleepy. Just do some lighting there. Some of them are a bit sleepy like this. They've been sleeping. I turned off. I actually switched off the lights from 7. So they've been sleeping all the way up to this particular time. So we're just giving them some small feeds, half the amount they require, so that I've just noticed something that you don't want to overfeed the chickens at this particular time, because the past 3 weeks, guys, I've been giving them lots and lots of feeds, guys, which was not really a good idea, because lots of feeds and less sleep. So that was the problem. Now I've noticed that I don't know if you can see this clearly, but you need to see from the back. You can see there's a lot of white, which means there's a lot of feather growth. Look all the way to that direction. Lots of white. That means a lot of feathers have grown. Therefore, the chickens are able to. It's very warm in here, by the way. It's nicely warm. That means the chickens are producing heat, which is good for the body, and we don't have to spend money on the stoves like that. So this is a good news. This is the almost week 4, and the chickens I have to weigh them. I'll weigh them probably by Tuesday. Today is a Friday, so that means in the next 3 days I should be weighing them to see what's the average weight should be. Now I noticed that we am losing some birds, one bird per day. So that is what prompted me to do some research, and then I came to realize that there's something called a sudden death. I've talked about this in the previous video. There's something called a sudden death syndrome. That is for the broilers chickens. The reason I explain, I'll just repeat this, is because of the increased amount of feeding or increased amount of intake, which means you are forcing the body, especially the heart, to expand at very high speeds, at very high, abnormal rates, guys. So, and the heart is not able to sustain that. The muscles are not able to sustain that speed in terms of the body increase. The heart performs so many functions, which very crucial function, which include pumping blood, and that action requires a lot of muscles. Now, the heart is supposed to grow at a particular rate in comparison with the body, the rate of the body at which it's growing. Now, if there is a mismatch between those two, you'll find that the heart is actually struggling to pump a lot of blood into the entire body system of the chicken. So you find issues like heart failure arising from this massive expansion, this rapid expansion of the growth of the heart. So that's what I've just read. It's causing that sudden death in terms of increased metabolism for the chickens. So the advice is actually to slow down, and I had mentioned this earlier, to slow down on the feeding, to actually give the chickens a break. You can give them 5-hour break, 3-hour breaks, so that they can be able to jump around like the way they're doing. Get their crops empty. Just jump around, get their crops empty, and within the 5 hours or 3 hours that you give them, you break them in terms of feeding, you notice that the chickens are, they're just okay, they're just drinking. So within that time you're supposed to provide water so that they keep hydrated like that. Now, so we are reducing on the feeding. That's what you're doing now. It's 12, almost at 12, midnight, and I've just woken them up, which means I have to keep them until the following day, which is maybe for the next the whole of the day. And then probably tomorrow at by 7 I should have able to also switch off the light so that they sleep for some 5 hours, and then we'll actually bring back the feeding program again. Now this can change anytime depending on the schedule, because I'm here most of the time, so that means I have enough time to actually feed the chickens at night. But if you have a night schedule that is very busy, or you have to get some work, maybe you can change that. You feed them during the day, and then during the night you give them a break, they sleep the whole night like that. Now for me, I prefer this because I'm actually here, and during the day I really don't have that much to do, because this is fully the work that I'm doing, unless I'm committed somewhere else. This is the work that I'm supposed to be doing right here. So that's it, guys. This is the changes so far. You can see we did raise the feeders like that. Like that, we have increased the number of feeders, so that we have like 4 of them here, and then 5 of them on that side. And the chickens are just notice that they're consuming a lot of water, and I just love this. Look at the feather coverage. It has went all the way up. The backs are covered, you can see like that. The backs are all the way covered with the thick nice feathers, not the tiny ones that they had in the first week. But these are thick nice feathers, which means they can able to cover the chickens and then protect them from the cold during the night. So that's, which is a very good idea for me. And just look at this. We did raise the feeders to that level, the back level of the chickens. So these chickens are very long necks. You can see the long extended necks, which is an advantage because they can actually reach the feeds at very nicely rates. Look at that. So this is perfect. This is perfect for this session. Now, as I mentioned earlier, that I've been losing birds. Once in a day, you will come to this place, the birds have died. Another one just died when I was providing the feed. So what happened was, it developed some conversions. It just made some weird sounds and then developed conversions, like somebody having like what, a seizure, is it called a seizure, something like that, and then the chickens just died like that, just in a few seconds. Convulsions, it kicked its stretched its head, and then stretched its legs out, and then 3 seconds later down dead. And that is not a disease, guys. There's no disease that kills a chicken like that. That's actually the increased heart expansion. Look at this, it's already full. Look at that crop, it has already fed and it's full. Look at this. Also this one, the crop is already full. As you can see, those extensions, those are actually pieces, the pellets that we have right there. So the pellets are good because they fill up very quickly, and then the chickens, all that has to do is drink water and then sleep. You see, that's all they do: drink water, fill up, and then sleep for a while. So, and then wake up and repeat the process again and over again, like that. So guys, I'm happy with the progress so far, but I'll be let me get the next 3 days, wait for the next 3 days, and then after that I'll be weighing the chickens, because I mentioned earlier that weight sells. In broilers, it is actually weight gain that you are looking up for, unlike in layers, where you have to wait for a longer period of time to actually weigh. For this one, you have to weigh like almost twice a week. You can weigh this twice a week to check on the progress of the weight of the birds, because that's what you are looking for. That's our target. If we get these birds to 2 kgs or 2.5 kgs in the next 6 weeks, they should be ready. We should be able to sell them. But if it doesn't happen at that particular time, we will have actually messed up, and then it will actually bring a negative, actually a cost to us. It will be a cost to us, feeding them throughout the 7th week like that, and we don't want to get to that particular time. So one of the features, how we have enhanced biosecurity. This is the back of the place has to be it's very crowded with those weeds. I think they have to do some slashing here, because it's very crowded. So we did put a little fence here, a small fence. Oh, those look at this. This is what called cypress. They're growing really well. This is what? This is a 2-year-old. No, 1-year-old. It's way past 1 meter. That one is a bit taller. Yeah, it's now they have to get to this height so that you chop them off, and then they make a nice edge. See, they make a perfect edge, by the way. Perfect edge for that. So the another fence here. This is just for biosecurity purposes, and then for maybe physical security, just to prevent somebody from getting in. It's the first wall of protection. That's what I call it. The first wall of protection, just to protect your property. Look at this. So these are the chicks, guys. Look at this. This is week 4. This is the 4th week. Just 1 day shy of 4 weeks. 1 day, 24 hours shy of 1 week, or exactly 1 month. And look at this. This is the back. They should be what? Look at that. So the chicks are ready for consumption. To some extent, they're ready. Some are ready. Some are ready. Some are ready. I should be weighing them by tomorrow. But some are, they should be hitting 1.5. Some should be at 1.5. I understand that some markets accept, 1.2 as dead weight. Start buying at 1.2 as dead weight, after slaughter. But this one I've seen some a large percentage, relatively large percentage of them, which are above 1.5. So I should be weighing them tomorrow so that I know the exact, the exact weight of those bigger birds. The big ones are mostly male, so no surprise there, because if you look at this, most of the bigger ones with the red combs, the ones that are developing red combs. I don't know if you can see some of those red combs. The ones with the red combs. They're hard to find. Okay, but there's some with a little bit, just slightly bigger combs. Those are the males. That one, yeah, you can see the red. It's difficult to see. Yeah, this one which is just above there. Yeah, that's a male. I see some have red wattles like that one, that small one. I think I'm very far away from these guys. So yeah. Anyway, the point is, the male ones grow very fast, relatively fast, like this one. That one is right there. They grow relatively very fast compared to the female, so they have a bigger body, which is understandable because of the muscle ratio differences between the male and the females. So look at these guys. These are exactly 24 hours shy of 4 weeks exactly. So we should be weighing them tomorrow exactly to know the exact weights. These are perfect, guys. Look at this. So I think maybe just do some slashing around here, and then we get this area clean. But this is the fence, because I'm just starting out. This is the some sort of the cover that I was talking about. So we have this cover, which is very helpful, made from the sacks that we used buying feeds from. And then there's another one there which is covering that section. These are like 15 bags. All of them are just sewn together so that to make a larger cover like this. Think of it as a tarpaulin because the outside is actually waterproof. So that's why I chose those ones. They're perfect. Those the chickens are they're all grown right now. Look at this. We don't need heat at the moment. You can see we have removed the Gico. Speaking from outside, okay, we have removed the Gico. We just have we don't need heat at this particular moment. You can see it's white all over, which means the feathers have really grown, and this is perfect in saving us money, guys. Anytime past week 2, when you are buying charcoal, when you are buying medicine, you just know that you are eating, that money is coming from your profits. So the fact that they have grown to this extent and we don't need to buy more charcoal just to keep the place warm means that I'll be saving lots of money in terms of lots of money in terms of profits, because that's money actually that you're spending actually comes from your budget. Therefore your profits go down like that. So, and this being week 4, I should probably start prepping for the markets. when you're doing chickens that require quick removal from the farm, you don't need, unlike eggs which you can keep for a while, these ones, if you keep them for 1 week, 1 day, 5 days, you are feeding them at that particular time, and they're eating into a profit. So this being the 4th week, I should probably start looking for buyers. I already have one, but you can't be sure. You can't be sure one particular person. So you need like 2, 3, 4, 5. These are large numbers. Some people may not be able to buy in large quantities. These are what, 500 at this particular time. So which means if you get lucky and then you get a buyer who is able to buy the whole flock at once, that's very lucky. You are very lucky, because the area I'm living in is not a city where you can just have a ready market for broilers. So I have to get people, different customers, and you don't want to depend on one particular person, because that particular person, let's say next week I make a call, or after 6 weeks I make a call, and then the person is like, no, I already have some in my store, so I won't be picking yours maybe after next week. And that's an extra week added to your to your cost, actually, to your production cost. And you don't want to be in that particular situation, because you are spending a lot of money feeding the birds, guys. So probably still looking for customers. This is the 4th week, so I'll give them 1 more week, and but probably next week I should start looking for more customers. I already have 2, actually 2, yeah, 2, not 1, 2, but you can't rely on those 2 at this particular time. You need more. I need actually more, like 5, 5, 6. The more the better, because you can actually make a bargain. If you have more customers to buy, you can actually bargain for the products, so that you get a better price in terms of so that you get a better price for when you're selling these particular eggs. So guys, you expected let me just show you something little small. I mean, something small here. It's a small thing, but it's very critical, and it has cost me something. You see, just turn this way. So these are the chickens. It's around close to 4 p.m. That is, so we're just giving them the second share of the feeds, and then after this, at night they just sleep. We don't give them any further feeds. We realize that if you give them continuously food, you'll find that some of them are dying. So now the reason I'm showing you is this, just something small here. Now look at this this feeder right here. Now you notice that it has some extensions on it, these plastic extensions on it, like this one, and then this one. There are like 4 of them, or this one has 3. So yeah, there are 4. I think there's an extra one here. So what this one they do is actually to clip the base of the feeder to actually the holder, like this one. So this one is actually clipped to this one now, using these clips. These are plastic clips, so easy to take off. So you just take them off like that, and then so there we have these 3 extra tiny holes here, where you just push it in like that, and then it clicks. So the reason is just to prevent the feeders from falling, because if you remove the clips, those plastic clips, you'll see if the feeder keeps moving this direction like that, you'll find that it has actually dropped on the floor. Now this thing is very heavy. If I fill your food, this is supposed to be 6 kg, so that's a lot of weight for these chicks. Now, and so unfortunately it has cost me 1 chick right over there. So I found the chick underneath this base right here. So this one I dropped on the floor. Unfortunately I had forgotten to actually clip this one in the right position. So this one I've just done them right now. So I just realized that, and it was there's a lot of heat, like saturation, moisture underneath it, which means the ground is actually, or the chick is actually emitting a lot of heat. That's what actually saturates. So one casualty for a small mistake, something you did not know. a basic, you see, and it's suffocated. That's why you see it's just, there's no blood stains on it. You see, there's no blood stains on in the veins, because the blood is actually still intact, like that. So I can see like that, yeah. So it's still good. I'll try to consume that. It's actually my first time doing this. I'll try to consume that. I've weighed some of the chicks. There are some are actually 1.2, some are in 1.3, some are 1.5 kilos. So like that one, those heavy ones, those bigger males, those are hitting 1.5 right now. So in this fourth week 1.5. I don't know if that's bad or good. The market detects that 1.3 be the buying weight. That's starting from 1.3. Now that is the dead weight, so which means the chicken has to be what? That's 1.3 plus 1.3 plus 0.5, because that is actually what, if you slaughter a chicken, it loses around 500 grams of its weight, which is actually the intestines plus the feathers. So that should be 1.3 plus 0.5. That should be 1.8. 1.8. Yeah, 1.8 kilos. That should be 1.8 kilos. So you are yet to reach 1.8 kilos. I believe by next week they should have gained the 300 extra grams. By next week, yeah. Give them 1 week. But I don't want to overfeed them, because I'm experiencing those are sudden death syndrome. Is it sudden death? Yeah, sudden death syndrome. And I'm experiencing. So you just find a chicken has just dropped on the floor like that. No disease, no sign of disease. Because I'm not seeing any chick here which is has disease or is actually sick. Like there's no one which is separated. There's no lethargy like that. All of them are very active. They just eat and then sleep like that. If you can see in the ground on the on that section like that. So they just eat just a small portion of the feeds and then they go back to sleep like that. So you can see they prefer to sleep on the edges, all around the edges of the building like that. So that's where they sleep, in all those areas away from the center like that. So that's where they're sleeping right now. But there's no disease right here. Well, the possibility of a disease is there because there is poop on the floor. Now it only happens that you can only get the disease if the chickens ingest that that into their digestive system. But if that doesn't happen, if they feed from clean feeders raised which are up, there's no mixing of poop with the feeders, they should be okay. They should perfectly be okay. Like mine right here, they're okay. So no incidents of diseases like coccidiosis like that. So the chicks are perfectly okay. They're good shape. They are in good shape. They're eating like that. They are active. That's what you want to see from your birds. So look at that. Perfectly asleep. They're just looking at me because I'm talking. That's why they're all staring at me. That's why I'm talking. So small mistake has cost me one bird. That's money gone. Money gone. Look at that one. Look at that extension. This is the crop right there. Look at how big it gets, because these are pellets, large size pellets. So if it eats like 20 of them, swallows like 20 of them, the crop will be very full, and then it drinks a lot of water and then goes to sleep like that. It's a very simple life for a bird like that. A very simple basic life for a bird like this. So guys, if you buy this kind of feeders, just remember those clips. Those clips are very important. Those tiny clips. You see, unfortunately, if you when you buy them, they don't tell you what they do, because these are agrovet. Some of them don't really know how to fix these things, so they cost. There's a cost to that, and that is the cost for me. So guys, right now my chickens are consuming 100 liters, way over 100 liters of water. That's per day. That's what they're consuming. About 500 of them. So that's quite understandable, because they eat a lot of dry feeds. So the reason I'm telling you this is because of how just important water is to the farm. And just check out these feeds are almost done. Remaining with some few bags there. Way less than 10. Well, we have more. Maybe they can last up for the next remaining 2 weeks. So the reason I'm showing you this is because of how important water is to this process, to the farming process. Because I've just realized that water, I will need a lot of water in the next coming months if I'm to raise way over 5,000 broilers at this particular time. If I'm to raise 5,000 broilers and they're consuming 500, are consuming 100 liters, so which means I'll need quite some serious supply of water. So this is how we treat our water. Luckily, I spent some money, around $2,000 just drilling a hole, borehole, and piping, doing all that pipe, putting a pump there. So in terms of water, we are very safe, but the connectivity is what we have to expand at this particular time. If I'm to brood, let's say, or to bring in 5,000 broilers, well, not really 5,000, because my capacity I can hold maybe 1,000, 1,000, and 1,000. At most 3,000. That's what it can host. This particular farmer, these are 3 houses. That's what they can host at this particular time. So what I'm holding here is what's called rock alum. This is just aluminium, some aluminium right there, rock alum. So I believe it's some aluminium and then manganese, a mixture there. So this is just used to reduce the amount of salt in the water. So many salts in water, so just to remove. It's not really for a germicide, but it's actually used to reduce the amount of salts that is in water. So I've been doing some pumping of water. Just get up the stairs quickly like this, and then you can see I did some just this morning. I've been doing some I think this is some water. It doesn't rain. This is just water from the 1,000 liter tank right there. So I want to add this. So besides that, rock alum, I also have these chlorine. These are chlorine, 65% chlorine. So we use this to. This one is for purification. That's just to kill germs. This is on what we call the germicide now. This is to kill germs or bacteria in the in the water, so that our chickens don't get sick. So if I just open this, so you can see there just crystals of chlorine. Now the good thing with this is that it's easy to, it's very effective. That's why you just need a very small amount just to, purify water. Let's see, let's read these instructions right there under the application. So you just need 1 spoonful in 4,000 liters of water. 1 spoonful, that's around what, 20 grams. This is very little. Just to purify 4,000 liters of water. That's a lot. So going by that math means if I have 1,000 liters, that should be around a quarter. Yeah, a quarter of a spoonful. That is 1 to 4. So a quarter of a spoon. A quarter of a spoon, that's around 5 grams. So you just need 5 grams of that. So you can see. That should be enough. Should be small enough just to do the work. It's not really visible. So this is what you want to use. constructing this, we put iron sheets on the floor. Well, and this is the floor now. And the floor just to prevent the wood underneath from rotting because of maybe the excess rain that accommodates on it. So to prevent that, we put some iron sheets just to move the extra water, the excess rainwater out, so that the flow of that continues. Let's look at the water right here. So this is it. Just pumped this morning. This is what the water looks a bit murky. That is brownish because we just added that rock alum, and it has not settled yet. So if you look clearly, you can see what appears to be like tiny crystals, tiny white crystals in it. So you just have to wait for it to settle for around 2 hours, and then it will be ready for drinking, like that. This is, by the way, how they treat water in those industrial water plants. That's just how they do it. So they just use this plus the chlorine, and water will be safe for drinking. So week 4, guys. Week 4. This is the 4th week. The chickens are ready. They are ready, like, for consumption. These are tasty broiler chickens. I've tested one, I've eaten one, and they're perfect. So let's take a look at some of the things that have happened. Let me just show you the weight. That's the most important thing I have to show you today. The weight of the birds. We have to weigh that so that that's what sells in this broiler business. So some stuff there. So get this. Someone trying to get out. Now, I forgot to mention that earlier, that this breed of broilers, we have so many different breeds of broilers. We have Cob 500, Cob 700, Rose. We also have the Hubbard. We have the Rose 308, 708. So many breeds out there. And each of them have, let me just pick this one first. Okay, or I just use it to weigh. Let me just get in first. We look at the birds. Okay. So just give them the morning feeds and morning portions. So this is the 4th week. Exactly, today is week 4, and 28 days to be exact. Now the chickens are struggling to get most of the feeds out there. We're considering they are still fighting for that small, tiny remaining crumbs of feeds. But the reason I don't want to add the feeds is because the chickens keep dying one by one. So I want to avoid that by giving them a significantly small amount of feeds, so that it can just get them through the day. Look at that one. It's so fat that it's having difficulties walking. Are you looking at it? Let me just get close. Yeah, this one. It's having problems walking. You can see the crop is way full. It's very full, like that. And the bird is heavy. I believe this should be close to 2 kg. Ah, yeah. Let me weigh this. Let me start with these guys. It is difficult to pick the specific birds from this section, because the birds are so many and they're almost of the same size. So let me just get it out first. I'll show you. Oh, place it right there. Oh, it's heavy. It should be 2 kgs. Let me get the scale. It should be somewhere here. Okay. Tiny scale. It's right there. Just weigh the bird and see. Okay, that's flat enough. Let's keep that on. Then yeah, this is the bird. This is the big bird. Wow. Okay, just gently place it there. So 1.6, 1.6, yeah, that's 1.67, 1.67. Now, as you can see, it's a male, obviously a male. Now, there's so many details I want to give you guys about this breed, and let's just go one by one. So we have weighed the bird. It's 6.77, 1.677. So if you subtract the, let's say, 70 grams of these feeds, yeah, it should be like 70 grams, 70 to 100 grams of that. So you should get something 1.57 there. You see, 1.57 grams. So 1.57 kgs, guys, and week 4, and it's heavy. Let me just lift it off. Yeah, that explains why it's having difficulties walking. You know, the legs are spread apart, which is a similar characteristic to all those broilers, because there is a fat accumulation actually behind the legs like that, so it's difficult to walk. That's why it has some difficulties walking. It was getting out. I believe I just have to close the door like that. Okay, it's right there. Okay guys, so let's continue with the video. Now I was talking about the breed of the birds that we have here. So as you can see, that is this is the Rose 308 breed. Now it has some advantages and disadvantages to it. So it's not an all rosy breed if you are, you know, considering bringing this to your farm. So I'll start with the pros. One of them being the fact that it is a relatively low, you know, a high performance bird, relatively high performance bird, in that it is ready, usually ready by the 4th week. As you can see, I've just weighed one of them there. It is 1.5 kilos. 1.5 kilos. Now remember, the market accepts 1.2 kilo, 1.2 kilos, 1.2, 1.3 kilos dead weight. So the fact that it's 1.5 already means it's good to go. Means it's good to go, and there are so many of them. Look at those. Mostly, I think most of them are just males. Look at those ones that are lying right there. Very big, nice looking birds. So that's one of the advantages. It's a fast maturing bird. By 6 weeks, they should be ready. Now, having that advantage of fast maturing means the chicken is able to, you know, its lifespan is very short. Lifespan is very short. So that should be like what? I've read somewhere it's supposed to be 42 days. 42 days, the chicken's lifespan should be. That's the maximum it can go, 42 days. Other than that, the chicken just start dying. You see, just starts dying. Maybe because of what I've just mentioned, the sudden death syndrome. I've just talked about this so many times. Because the chicken is actually eating a lot, and it develops heart problems or a heart attack or a heart attack in this case, and it develops heart failure or heart problems. That's due to, you know, differences in the maybe metabolism of the bird. Now remember that this being one of the fastest breed means that I mean, it doesn't mean that it is only the best available. It doesn't mean it's the best available in the market. There are so many other breeds which are actually also fast growing, but I'll just tell you more about this because that's what I know for now, and this is what I've experienced. This is what I've brought in. Now, the other thing is that you can see it's a slow feathering, which means it develops feathers very slow. It has very few feathers, by the way, very few feathers. They weigh very few grams. So which means most of the chicken is actually food, rather muscles. Most of it is just muscles and very few feathers, compared to layers which have so many feathers and very small body. But this one is a big body, big heavy body with tiny feathers. You can see even the crop is not even full, but the crop is not even full of feathers. As you can see, these are few countable that can be counted, feathers. You can see like that. The neck is also like that. You can see even the back is not that fully covered, but the bird is big enough to be, consumed by in the market like that. So those are some of the advantages. It's actually a short bird. You see, it's a very short. It's a short bird. It's not tall. You see, this is less than 1 inch. This is about an inch. Or you see, the height of the leg is about an inch. Let's put it that way. Yeah, it's about 1 inch like that. Maybe 1.2 inches like that. So it's not a very tall bird compared to the Cobb 500. And I just say those are some of the advantages of the bird. It's the fast maturing bird. That's the advantage. Now compare that to the Cobb 500. It is actually, the Cobb 500 takes 7 weeks at most. By 7 weeks it should be mature enough. I've not raised those, but that's the next breed I'm bringing in, because I've been told that there's some advantages associated with it, which favor my environment. Because this one, the information I have is that it is a bird which is suitable for closed environments. You see, controlled environments where we have all that. The air is controlled, the temperatures are controlled, so it's a closed environment which is actually controlled. Unlike mine, which is actually an open house. So I've been told that if I want to reduce on the death of those everyday deaths for those this particular breed, I have to change the breed and then bring the Cobb 500. So I'll try that in the next few weeks, and I'll be showing you what actually happens. So comparing those two breeds, this is the one I've tried, and I'm looking at the results, guys. Apart from the fact that the bird develops heart failure issues, everything else is okay. I told you that some 3 weeks ago, the birds, after 1 week of arrival, the birds started coughing and sneezing and all that. So you can see there's no bird that actually died from that particular incident. The only birds that have died, and I've documented these, are the ones which had developed what you call unhealed narvals, and then the ones which maybe I stepped in on them. Some of them I stepped on, that's just carelessness. The ones which maybe I placed feeders on them because they were so tiny in the first week. And then the other group that died is the one which were very tiny in size, underdeveloped birds. You see, the underdeveloped birds, the ones that I have showed you, those ones died because they couldn't just cope with the conditions in here. So those are the breeds that die. But they currently have not lost any bird to maybe disease. So any disease, no, because the birds were coughing, and some of them are still doing that, but they're eating, they're healthy, they're jumping around. You see, they're playing like that. So the breed is good, the birds are healthy like that, no disease, which means they're resistant to some of those diseases. Because I knew that, because the coughing was continuing for some time, I knew that could be bronchitis, infectious bronchitis. I had given them a vaccine earlier, so that means the vaccine works or worked, and it was an advantage to me. So look at that. The birds are asleep, actually resting. The thing with these birds is that once the crop is full, which is actually their belly, they just go to sleep. Some of them go to sleep, some of them just resting, just looking at me. So there's nothing else they can do. That's explains why, guys, they develop those heart failure diseases conditions, because there's nothing else they're doing. That's why you have to give them a break so that they jump around once the crop is empties after maybe 2 hours. So you give them time to jump around, play, get some sort of exercise, so that they don't just develop those heart failure conditions like that. So that's why we are breaking the feeding cycle, just from all day having feeds on these feeders to actually having feeds here, reducing actually the quantity of feeds we are giving. Apart from that, you're also giving them a break during the day, 6-hour break. So right now it is I believe it's 9. So the next feed should be at 7 in the evening, from 7 in the evening up to maybe 11. That's when we switch off the lights, or 10, then we switch off the lights, or we can give them 4 to 8. and then you switch off the lights so that the birds go to sleep, and the feeds have to be less. We are reducing the amount of feeds that you're giving them, because you can see the birds are expanding in weight. They're heavy. You see, they're gaining weight. I thought that giving the birds feeds throughout the day will actually be the solution to this problem. You see, people, and me included, thought that if you feed these birds 24/7 from week 1 to week 6, they will have gained the weight very quickly, and then you'll be ready for the market by that particular time you want. So I thought that would be the issue, but it turns out that no. These are very tricky birds. They prefer a very balanced environment, a very balanced feeding, a very moderated feeding, so that you don't overfeed them and they don't develop those cardiac arrest, you see, heart-related problems. So that's what I've just learned from these guys. And having that information, I didn't have that information before bringing the birds. So that's why I lost so many birds. I can't even count how many. Once you go past 20, you just stopped counting, because it was becoming disappointing. But this is the breed that I have, and let me just learn from these failures. I've just learned from these failures, and probably the next batch that I bring in, I will have to keep a keen eye on those particular areas where I was losing the birds, particularly on the carelessness. I was a bit careless on the feeders. I'll actually have to bring in new feeders, the smaller feeders. I'll have to make calls for the company that's giving the birds, so make sure that they don't give me the birds which have unhealed animals. So you have to be careful, because these guys, they just dump all those birds to you, and yet you are paying for them. That's a problem. You are paying for those particular birds, but they don't look at those particular issues. So those are the issues I'll have to look at before you see before bringing in actually the bird. So I've learned a lot in these past 4 weeks, and let's go to the weighing, guys. I've just given you so much information. Let's go to the weighing of these birds. I have to weigh several. I can't just weigh one. I have to weigh several, like 10 of them, so that I know the average weight of these birds. And then obviously this week I have to start looking for the market, so that I'll start. Already have one customer who's coming in to take like 300 of them, and they were 500, so I believe they were less than 500, maybe for 90 something. I can't really count, but 300 are gone already, and you see, I have to remaining in 200. So I have to figure out how to get those to the market. Hey guys, so we just hit this is a week, fifth week. This is a Tuesday, so this is a fifth week, and we are done with the raising broilers. At this particular time, we are done with the raising process, and what you just have to do now is actually to sell. So I have to look for a market. There's a guy I have to meet somewhere just in the city, Kisumu city. Right there, so I have to look for more customers. In this business, you need more customers. You need more than 5 or 10, because some of them, the moment you think that they will be picking or collecting the birds, they will just be maybe occupied or not there. You make a call, nobody's speaking. So see, that's the problem. So that's why you need more than 10 customers. Just people, maybe 5 of those will be able to come for the birds. So it's a tricky business, considering the market. It's a tricky business, because if I were to do value addition, let's say I do slaughtering and then maybe frying them and then selling them somewhere, that's just another business on its own, and it just takes another time, another level of capital to actually start that kind of business. So we just have to sell. We are raising them for wholesale purposes. You're not at this particular time. You haven't started doing the value addition thing, but we are selling them on wholesale. So I have like 500 at this particular time, and then in the next batch you should be bringing maybe 1,000, depending on the sales, how the sales go here. Yeah. So I think the chicks at this particular time, I keep calling them chicks. The chickens actually weigh 2 kg. Right now it's 1 point. The smallest should be the smallest I've seen should be 1.3 kilos. 1.3 kilos. That's live weight. 1.3 kilos. That's a lot. That's a lot. It could feed 4 people comfortably. 4 people, and the highest I've seen is 2.3 kilos. So that's a lot. That's a lot. And the breed is a Ross 308. So particularly small birds. They're heavy, but they're tiny in body, but they're very small birds. So